Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ALANA Project Recap 2023 and Outlook 2024. Precisely, this is the second time I'm doing this. I started doing this last year. And as you guys can see, we have quite a bit to walk through, right? So, hi, hey guys. Hi, Oncle Closet. Hi, Delta Bit. Hi, Mexicano, aka Hafid Reyes. Hi. Hi, guys. Good to have you here. Because this is kind of a, even though this is just the second time I'm doing this, I'm realizing while putting this together how much stuff we have actually worked on, how many things we actually have accomplished. Because I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'm one of those people at the end of a year, I'm like, what did I do with the year? Like, why am I not even like further ahead, right? So it's my constant, struggle with myself. And so I sometimes, before doing this, and I guess this is also kind of a reason why I started doing this, is that I had the same feeling about ALANA, even though I wouldn't, it's not doing it justice at all, right? Because we're multiple people at the ALANA Project, we are an entire community. So of course, a lot of different things are being done actually. And I see, you need a raise. Buenos dias, señoritas. Buenos dias. Yeah, I think I need a raise. I need to talk to ALANA about it, don't I? Okay, so quickly saying this, I will make this board publicly accessible after the stream so you can follow up on certain links and all of it. But for now, let's just start by saying a few things first. So of course, I noted it all down, but I won't be, no worries, I'm not gonna read this, okay? Just giving let me talk to the manager. It's ALANA. You should hop on the Discord and talk to ALANA about it. Oh, thank you, Oncle Closet. Yes, it's very pink again. Thanks to, can I do some side promotion? I go to this really nice hairdressing studio here in Lima. It's called The Revolution. So if you ever need like a nice hair color like this one and you happen to be in Lima, then this is the place to go. Anyway, side promotion end. All right, so let me start by giving, for those of you who might see this for the first time or you might not really know who ALANA is, let me give you a brief pre-introduction to all of this. So ALANA, the ALANA Project, started out as the ALANA the Web3 girl. ALANA the Web3 girl was an avatar, a digital persona I created essentially to fit into clothes that I made before I made the avatar to symbolize the Web3 revolution in kind of like a relatable way. And the more people joined me in this endeavor of dressing ALANA up, the more the single avatar transformed into something much more meaningful, trying to educate people who are not very tech savvy or, might not enjoy the tech level of stuff as much, and educate them on everything that Web3 can do for them, right? Web3 is the next layer of the internet, and it's blockchain enabled. AI is an ingredient that belongs to it. The semantic web is something that was a thing that early came up, which is like the idea of an interconnected internet, right? Open source is an idea that belongs into that space. A lot of different ingredients that make up for Web3. One of it is working in a decentralized community. So this is what we are ambitious about, right? We want to get this organization of the ALANA Project from a very centralized state to a very decentralized state, and taking everyone with us, hopefully. So anyways, in 2023, we defined 6 different development branches within the ALANA Project, because even a project such as ALANA needs to be self-sustaining eventually. And we tested out these different branches, and I will, walk through all of them in a sheet. And the resolve about these different projects was that some develop much more vibrantly and interestingly than others, right? Others they started well, but then we saw that we were missing essentially a lot of resources. And this lack of resources led to eventually these projects kind of dying down, which is not a bad thing, right? I'm not sad about it, but I'm also happy we tried and we gave it, we gave it a shot, right? I think it's very important to try these things. So anyway, while 2023 began with that plan of exploring these different development branches, right? It was still a very confusing stage for ALANA, to be very honest with you guys. So when I say confusing, I mean from an identity point of view, right? ALANA, like I said, was ALANA the Web3 girl. It was an avatar that I created. So how could an avatar that I originally created be a representation of an entire community of people? That's very hard. So we embarked at the end, I want to say, of 2022 on a branding journey, because branding is a little bit more than just aesthetical output. It goes all the way to the core of the identity of a project or an organization. So that's what we did. And I was happy to have, some of our members with me along the way. That was Kat Banas at the time, Kirsty, Meloy, and, Control Z, Klaus Fleischhacker. They all really, tried their best, like bringing a more wider scope to what ALANA was supposed to be from a branding point of view. But eventually we kind of got really sidetracked on this journey. And so I asked a very good friend of mine, Gonzalo Espinosa, and he's a branding specialist residing here in Lima. So if you need a branding specialist here in Lima, this is the person you should go to. And he helped us from an outsider point of view to guide us back on track. And he did a marvelous job at this at the beginning of 2023, right? And so from there on, we really started to see where ALANA was supposed to be located. And I will explain a little bit more about this in a bit. But first I want to give you a little bit of a structure of what can you expect from this board? Because it was a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but challenging, definitely challenging, to structure this board in a way where it still can be reviewed by someone who might not know much about ALANA yet. So I sectioned this in 3 chapters. One chapter is organizational core developments, right? So that's everything that has to do with ALANA as an organization, right? Less with what are the products that we are developing. Then you have organizational product development. So we also have one product that moved from being a development branch into becoming its own little side product because it fits in both regions at the same time. And then we have project branches, which is essentially our product development. So the things that are supposed to bring us, to the next level, make us self-sustaining in a way. Let me check the chat. Okay, oh, hi, what's up? Good to have you here. Okay, so point is, I guess, these are the 3 different sections. So if you're going to go and walk through them later on, don't wonder about them. This is how I separate it, or I try to separate it to make it more just easier to grasp, I guess, because it's a lot, right? I'm going to bump you a little bit with information, and I already apologize for it in advance because, I tried my best to keep it as concise as I possibly could. So there is a lot to look forward to, and again, I will, go by pillar by pillar. I will tell you what to look forward to in that section. And before we go any further, if you want to share this, please make ALANA wider known, because, and I'm not saying this because I'm entirely biased, but ALANA is a good, solid project, right? And I wish more people would know about it, and I hope you all can help me to bring, all of what we're doing to more people in the next year. I just want to, I usually never say this. So this time I was like, I'm going to say this. So let's go to the first section. So the first section is all about organizational development. Now you'll probably ask me, why is that important? Well, you can develop a Web3 enabled product, right? That doesn't mean that necessarily your organization is Web3 enabled. And at some point, from what I have observed so far, and from what I've studied so far, at some point these 2 things, they start clashing, because the product is Web3 enabled, but the organization isn't. So ALANA started out as, I've told you already a little bit, as a very centralized entity, right? it's also, ALANA is actually a company incorporated here in Peru, right? So everyone has obviously a lot of trust in me, and I thank you all for it, that I'm not just abusing my power over all of this. But my true aim is to continuously decentralize, because something that I've also observed is that many right now very decentralized communities are struggling with being efficient, being organized, right? And from what I've learned is the reason for this is that it's great if we have tech that enables us to be decentralized, but what about our minds, right? Humans have to adapt, they have to adjust, and all of this needs time. And we have been raised in a society, and most of us, I want to say, I don't know, some of you might have not been raised this way, but our societies are full of hierarchies. So our natural approach is always to look for a leader, someone who has the plan, someone who has the vision, right? And for that to evaporate, it just takes time, right? For people to acknowledge that they can transform or take their own vision into a project such as ALANA and start building something, that just takes time. And so this is why at some point I realized, and actually Lauren has been a huge help on all of this journey, because she went through the same steps as me with Entourage. It's a process of realization that even if you have the tech, you don't necessarily have the mindset, right, of self-responsible actions, right, self-motivation, like all of these things, self-awareness, right? So you need all of these things in a person so that they can actually act in a decentralized way. At least, obviously you can fight me on this, no problem, right? So let's go step by step. So the first step that I want to mention and talk a little bit about is the onboarding. So you guys, probably in the chat at least, I know, Smug Danger Cat is here as well. Hi, Smug. Hi. So onboarding is something that, in Web3 we're like, oh yeah, onboard something to a project. And everyone's like, yeah, I understand what that means. But to be honest, a lot of people don't know what that means. So it means how to enter and participate in the ALANA project, right? Because this is a process that's not very smooth, or hasn't been very smooth, even though Shelpen and we took like a lot of, work and initial steps and discussions to build out something that you guys know as ALANA's Web3 Learner Challenge. Yeah, we did all of that, but still it wasn't very obvious and smooth how to even get there, and why should people do it, right? And so when a little bit later, Smug Danger Cat, Dani from Neo Cybernetics Federation, Dani, if you're here, hi, joined us at ALANA, we took a second turn at all of this and refined that process. So here are like the contributors, essentially always named. So when I publish the sheet, please make sure, to click on the links and follow them and see what they are up to, because they're also their own person. They have their own projects. They have their own things going on. Yeah, that's possible. If you're part of ALANA, you also have your own stuff. The easiest way of how we thought this could be approached is by laying this out in a little bit of a diagram. So this is essentially the onboarding flow. So how do people enter? Most people, we found out, entered because they were already looking for something like this, right? But some are also just entering because they're curious. So we call this the seeker, even though, maybe it's a seeker either way, even if it's a curious person. Usually they come via social media and, eventually our landing page, our beacons link, ALANA's beacons link. And then, they are already a member, right? At this point, you're already a member because you have already engaged. You click on more links, you maybe start following here and there. But now in the ALANA Project Beacons, we also have a Start Here section, thanks to Smug. So thank you for this again. And in there, you will find a step-by-step guide on what you could do, on how you could engage with ALANA in the first instance, right? And the little golden nuggets down here is essentially the value you get in return. So for example, if you do the Web3 Learner Challenge, you will actually get the Learner Badge NFT, right? And you will get Web3 knowledge. If you do, the community onboarding, again, you get the Learner Badge. You get network connections, like-minded people, creators, builders, right? Who are looking for something a little bit beyond of what already exists. And then the last one is open community activities, which are, for example, the newsletter, our events, like learning initiatives, like our webinars. We'll get to that later. So you get professional knowledge, cutting edge knowledge, right? And curated information, which I think is really very needed these days, because there is so much noise from just everywhere, right? It's 360-degree noise. And sometimes it's really, really enjoyable if you get something that's very tailored to your specific needs and what you want to learn or know about. So this is the onboarding flow. And if you're interested and you haven't done this yet, how dare if you haven't done this yet, not just kidding. Then here are the links for the onboarding, right? So you could start with the, like I said, with the Start Here section, right? Then the Web3 Learner Challenge, then doing a deep dive on the Git book, even though I'm reworking the Git book right now. And then mint your Alana Codex NFT. The Codex is something very, very cool that was added this year to, thanks to Dani from the Neo Cybernetics Federation, to Alana, which essentially is an NFT by itself, but we keep attaching information to that NFT. So it's almost like an updated executive summary of the ALANA project. Again, here's the link to the 5-minute tutorial on how to mint your own ALANA Codex NFTs, obviously free, right? And yeah, you can check in on a monthly basis and, you know, just see what's been done. It's a visual guide. So while it has some summaries in form of a PDF on a monthly basis, it also comes with visual ingredients, so to speak, that will show you like just the people behind the project and what we're up to and the sessions that we do. So yeah. Anyway, when it comes to the outlook, and I'm just quickly, Cyberdani is here, Alexander is here. Fact so far. Thank you, Icon. So good to have you guys on board. Yeah, so the outlook for 2024, let me do this quickly. So something that a lot of us actually have worked on, including Paola, Shelpen, myself, and sorry, I hope I didn't forget anyone. I think it's only us three for now. We've worked on the Web3 Co-Creator Challenge. So it's the next level after the Web3 Learner comes the Web3 Co-Creator. So it's a creative kind of challenge where you can enter different branches of, you know, exploring your creativity, because in Alana we believe that everyone is creative, right? We're no bullies. And also it's just a fact. It's just that most of us get untrained in thinking in a creative way through the institutions that we run throughout our life, right? If we are not specifically tasked with creative tasks, then it's something that just wilts in a way. And so, yeah, we think we want to help people who might not have a creative background, or even if you do, right? With this new next level of challenges, to enjoy learning with us and do it within the community, and you know, share your work. And at the same time, this is not entirely selfless, I have to say, because we're also thinking about how to self-sustain, right? We want to spot future talent for Alana Studio, which is the last thing I'm gonna mention. So. Yeah, you have to wait for the Alana Studio grant reveal. Sorry, guys. All right, branding. I think I've already said a lot about the branding. Everybody's so creative. I think so. You don't. I do believe that. So, branding and identity, I think I've already told you a lot about, right? How we started the journey, but, you know, then like lost a little bit of track along the way. Then Gonzalo, you know, came in like a superhero move and put us back on track. And eventually we arrived at the point that Control Z started to build out the initial brand guidelines. And then Kirsty and we took the work up on us to let this trickle down in, you know, stuff like different templates for social media, YouTube thumbnails, even the thumbnail that you saw today when the stream started, right? To eventually also the product, so the way the magazine is being designed, right? The way that we design 3D assets. So you will see in the game prototype, and please let it launch in 2024. Maybe we should offer a sacrifice to, I don't know, the digital gods or something. But in 2024, I hope that we can launch the prototype, and you will see as I, reveal some of the work in progress a little bit later. You will see that the aesthetic of the game assets has a very specific style, right? It is not like your atypical sci-fi style. So we tried really hard to make these things really cohesively work throughout the entirety of the ecosystem, and I hope it shows. Please let us know if it doesn't, right? Main contributors I want to mention here are Kirsty, Control Z, Kat, Gonzalo, Origen from Origen, Pellegrino, and of course myself. I want to say that many other people in the beginning helped us with this, right? Paola was in the meeting, Anatarian was in the meeting. But what we did realize that if there are too many cooks in the kitchen, it becomes even more confusing. So here's a little bit of, all the weird stuff we came up with. So we started with something that you guys know very well from this t-shirt, I believe, which is, the old logo. It's the Alana, the Web3 girl one. And Kirsty actually made this. And at the time, it was the most beautiful thing ever, because we had this idea of attaching Alana to, I want to say, a futurist version of Art Deco. So it was beautiful, right? But as we grew as a community, it just didn't work anymore. And this is when we went a little bit crazy. This is also Anita from a very great graphic design studio in Colombia, who, created these like poster-like graphics out of what we had. And we worked on all of these things, and it was just, in the end, it was a mess, right? It turned into a mess because we were trying to go everywhere before defining the most crucial things. So let me actually tell you those most crucial things that, Gonzalito made us realize is the vision and the mission of a project, right? Let's start with that. You wouldn't believe how important this is, right? And it's at the core of the branding process. And out of this, he has a secret sauce that actually let us arrive at these three main words. And these three main words, cosmic, nerdy, and badass, they are being defined through the little words that are underneath. So it's not your version of cosmic that Alana is, right? And hi, Julia. Hi. It's not your version of cosmic. Cosmic has a distinct description for Alana. It's unique, refined, and iconic, right? Nerdy is fresh, as in fresh, gentle, and helpful, and badass as in powerful, grounded, and adventurous. So you can imagine, all of us being creatives, right? We had a lot of trouble adjusting to not thinking the same way that we do for our own stuff, yet, get out of like our own perspective, elevate ourselves, and get into this very specific perspective to design stuff for Alana. And I'm not going to tell you it's not a continuous struggle, because it most certainly is, right? But at the same time, it's really worth it, and I can only recommend it to you. So if you have a project and you're trying to figure stuff out, don't go to what you do best. Don't just make creative stuff, right? First, have a look at the theory, right? Have a look at the people who are involved in the project, right? And talk to them and figure out what is it that you actually want. And I promise you, it's a continuous challenge. So this is also the outlook for 2024. Well, this is a continuous challenge, so guess what? We will continue accepting this challenge for 2024 when it comes to branding and identity. Right. Which brings me to something that's very close to branding and identity, the social media and engagement part of Alana. So, Tanshu, Cosmic Nerdy Badass. Yeah, that's it. Hi, Tanshu. Welcome to the stream. Well, so social media has been kind of an exciting journey in 2023 because we tried out everything, I feel. We tried out most different kinds of content. And, you know, Isabu is just, she's marvelous at this, right? Isabu is the one who always brings up like crazy ideas from Instagram. She's like, look at this. And, you know, my brain doesn't even, you know, switch that fast. I look at this and I'm like, what does she want to tell me? But she sees this and she's like, oh, look, if we take this, but then we make it completely different, and then we mix it with this, then we get that. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. But, you know, I'm not easy to deal with when it comes to social media because I often don't see stuff. It's the same when Kirsty is like, oh, let's cut this video like this and that way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. So for 2024, I would very much look forward if someone else starts joining the social media team around Alana and helps those two out, okay? Because I'm obviously not getting it as much as I should. Anyhow, good news is we had an average growth rate on all of our channels of plus 50%, which is great. We are not using any kind of boosting, right? Because we are essentially self-funded, so we don't have resources for that, which makes me believe that is not a bad result. Hi there, greetings from Lutra. Niels, welcome to the stream. So yeah, like I said, we explored many different types, and here are the most frequent contributors. So that would be Isabu, Kirsty, Midday, On-Click Closet, and myself. On-Click Closet has been occasionally providing content, so did Midday. And I also want to mention that Tina was the one who actually, oh, I should have highlighted those two. Tina and Isabu were the ones who brought my attention towards making a LinkedIn account. So literally the only reason why Alana is now on LinkedIn and I created this event also on LinkedIn are those two individuals, right? Because everyone always thinks that is all my doing. It really isn't, right? Sometimes I need to be pushed and poked as well. So I appreciate that a lot. And I'm sorry if I ever give you a hard time about these things, because I'm also stubborn. Well, that said. Bravo! Yeah, last year's stream with Stella. This is it. Okay, great. So, social media is one form of engagement, right? But in Alana, we have so many more forms of engagement. So, what we did is, for example, we did 6 different webinars, which are linked here on the sheet as well. And I invite you guys to explore these because I think most of them are very helpful. Otherwise, we would not have done them. I wish that more people would supply us with ideas on, you know, not what they themselves specifically want to see, but maybe what they have observed, what others might need in the space, including themselves. So if you have any ideas in that direction, please don't hesitate, reach out in the Discord, just drop it in and be like, hey, this is the list of stuff that I think would be super cool if you were to do this in 2024. Of course, we already have some stuff set up, but not nearly enough. So give us some ideas because we're doing this for you. So, you know, makes sense. You're the ones who are demanding what we should be talking about. And we have, I think, a lot of smart, resourceful people in Alana, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who can maybe do these webinars in 2024. Then we started an educational content series, but I'm sorry, like episode 2 is out, but episode 1 is still stuck in editing. So anyway, the first one was the Alana Codex. So have a look at the Alana Codex. Mint your own Alana Codex. It's free. It gives you the TLDR on Alana, right? So it's kind of a no-brainer, I think is what you say. Then we had some virtual events, mainly triggered by the Alana magazine, which I thought, yeah, they were really great. Like, I enjoyed all of them. And I had a really great time at those events. And I also saw how the numbers turned out. So, you know, thanks for you guys for coming and joining and obviously enjoying it with us. And then I did just last week, you know, the Fashion Forward live stream with Hafid Reyes on the 010 app channel. So feel free to also check that one out because it was an entire recap about all the cool looks that everyone, you know, did and published on 010 app. which is a humongous gallery of like AR wearable looks. So you should really check them out. It was really awesome to be able to dress Hafid in all of these crazy dresses. And then main contributors to this section specifically were Kalau, because she moderated one of these events. Hafid Reyes, he initiated the Fashion Forward stream. That wasn't my idea. I was just partaking. Then, of course, Maximilian, right? Thank you, Maximilian, because she was the one who instigated and moderated one of the Alana magazine pre-launch events. And, of course, myself. I did the webinars. So, yeah, I logged in some of the numbers with the help of Isabu for the different channels, so you can check that out. You can also check out our most successful posts in the sense of reach, right? So we are looking more at, we're not looking at likes really, because I've realized with the small attention span that people have these days, like including myself, I start forgetting to like stuff that I actually like. So we were looking rather on the reach of different posts, and we were quite like excited and surprised looking at some of the numbers. Some went over 10,000. So for us, this is good, right? Could be always better, no doubt, but we really enjoyed it. So yeah, have a look at those if you want to. So how can I say, the resolution of all of this, right, is that in 2024, we want to focus on certain content that we saw was working throughout the entire year, right? Better than other content. So that would be more posts around our products. Obviously, in 2023, that was limited because we were just exploring products. But now that we're bit by bit releasing more products, we want to focus on really making that content because it seems people just like it for maybe because it's pretty. I have no idea. I don't care. I just enjoy that people are liking it. So, for example, everything that we published for the Alana magazine and was specifically about the product, it actually got a lot of likes, it got a lot of comments, it got a lot of wider reach, right? Then when it comes to collaborative posts, not only that this is what we stand for, we're a community, right? So it would be crazy of us not to expose the people who are working on this. So we want to keep that going, right? So if you're part of Alana and you haven't been published yet, tell us. We probably just forgot, and we are happy to publish whatever you're working on in Alana and also what you're working on outside of Alana. So help us, become stronger together, essentially. That's what this is about, right? And then more content around webinars and educational events. So we really want to push this a little bit further. We did 6 last year. So I think we should aim to do, like, for example, 12 webinars this year, 1 per month. I think that should be a good goal. Probably it will end up being 8 or 10. But point is, we should try. Right. Last one on the organizational scope. Any questions so far? I became an avatar. Yes, a sim. Indeed, Hafid, you absolutely did. I'm sorry. But it was so great for me. I had, you guys need to watch this stream, honestly. If you weren't there live, you should really rewatch it, because Hafid, probably I had the most fun in all of this, to be honest, Hafid. Okay, so like I told you in the beginning, we're trying to go from very centralized to highly decentralized, right? So some of you have mentioned Alana as a DAO, which it's not entirely wrong, because this is what we're aspiring to be. But to be very precise, we are a DAC, or DAC. So a DAC is a decentralized autonomous company, right? And has a very, let's say, centralized core, while a lot of other things are partially decentralized. For me, and I might be a stickler for detail, right? For me, this is important to mention, because I don't want to fool people. I don't want to say we're a DAO when in fact we're not a DAO yet. This is the plan, right? But yeah, I'm a stickler for these kind of details. So let's just go with duck development then for now. So anyway, the ecosystem has been growing. Our ecosystem partners have been growing, right? And also project-specific partners is a branch that has been growing a lot in 2023 with our first product releases. To mention a few, 010 app, right? Boson Protocol, Dark Block, Unlock Protocol, the Neo-Cybernetics Federation, told you guys many times by now. So, you know, a lot of ecosystem partners joined hands with us. And I think this is so important. This is like almost like, I don't know, I feel it's one of the most crucial things about building in Web3 is understanding that we need to build as a network. If we are all building in our little separate vacuum of thoughts, right, it's great and it's probably something really fantastic we're breeding out over there, but probably no one will ever know about this, right? So rather join hands and, you know, make it more known, right? Become more known within the network. I think it's just, you know, Danny and I, we can talk about this all the time. And I hereby cordially invite you guys to join us. Every Tuesday, we have a DAC call on the ALANA Discord, and we discuss these topics, right? And we build out the ALANA infrastructure step by step by step, right? So it's an open dialogue. Everyone can be heard. You don't have to come every time. So just because you come once, you don't have to suddenly start coming every week, right? But if you have an interest on how this ecosystem further develops, this is the time you should probably note down on your calendar and join. And yeah, we're going to resume these meetings after the holidays. Fair warning. So right now on the event calendar, they are not being mentioned. Okay, so next topic is, Lutra is here. So Lutra is a representative, essentially, from the Visual Learner Study Club that I and also Rohan Mehta started on the Token Engineering Academy. Some of you might know that I started studying there a little bit over a year ago. And, well, Lutra and I were still missing one exam, but I want to say we graduated fair and square, right? And now what surprised me very positively is that, you know, the guys who were left in the study group and saw this through to the end with me and with Rohan, they all decided to help us out and look at ALANA from an outside perspective as token engineers and evaluate possible tokenomics. So obviously that's very exciting to look forward to in 2024. Not saying we will have tokens, right? But we're evaluating the possibility and the necessity of a token or even a dual token system. So here's a little bit a graphic of, well, how does ALANA look like from an outside point of view, right? How does the ecosystem look like? So you see the ALANA Project DAC in the middle, right? And you see the ecosystem partners, and then on the outer ring, you see the different development branches and the project-specific partners that we have. So main contributors so far have been Shelpen, Astro Porcelain, shout out to Lutra again, here in the chat as Niels Otter, Day, Smug Danger Cat, and Dani from the Neo-Cybernetics Federation, and myself. So, that said, there's someone else that I should have mentioned, because she was the one who brought this first internal initiative to ALANA, and I should really mention her here. Sorry guys. Quick ad, because that was no other than Kirsty, right? Kirsty was the one who came to me one day, I want to say 7-ish weeks ago, and was like, can we do something like a coaching initiative within ALANA where the mentor is the same as the mentee, and it's a group of 2, and they get on a call and they do stuff with each other, and then they figure out what they are supposed to do and what are their goals for the next year. And I was like, sure, maybe talk to Dani about it, you know, kind of like sliding it off. And then Dani and Kirsty talked about this, and they get back to me and they were like, look, like this is how this could look like. And I was like, well, this actually sounds like a really, really good plan. So this is our first, internal initiative that we did among the most frequent contributors, so the core team members and the contributors. And I can maybe, I don't know if Dani is still here, so I think Dani can confirm this really worked. It is a really great initiative. I'm not just saying this because I worked on this. It is actually a very good initiative, and I think it helped a lot of people in the ALANA project to set their goals for 2024. And if you want, this is an open channel on the Discord, so just say hello, have a look at what we've been doing there. The link is also here. Please don't copy paste this and put your name underneath. That's the only thing we're going to ask you, right? Because it was created by Dani, Kirsty, and myself. So if you want to use this, you're allowed to use it, but then please make sure to mention us and the ALANA project. Thanks. Otherwise, as an individual, you're absolutely free to use this and, you know, get on a call with people and run through the session, right? It's all open, obviously. Anyway, here are our ecosystem partners listed, right? Ecosystem because they're very, very close to us, right? And to how the ALANA project functions. So I invite you to check out their links if you're looking for something similar, right? This is also something very important that you will start seeing in ALANA. It's also about sharing information and not just keeping it to yourself. Share it with others that might need it, right? Even if you don't. And yeah, I think, yeah, when it comes to the outlook for 2024, and a Smug Danger Cat, it has been a lot of fun, that's true. This one was the best, Uncle Closet says. So glad you guys enjoyed it. Please let Kirsty know, right? Because she was the one who literally invented this original idea, and then Dani jumped on it, and only the two of them were the ones who convinced me this is a good idea, and then I was the one who, you know, started to execute it in this way, I think. I think that's fair to say, I hope. If not, Dani, correct me. All right, so for the outlook for 2024 in that regard, right, it's refining the ecosystem, the evaluation for the tokenomics or do-it-tokenomics. It's finding, obviously, new partners, specifically for our task management. We are looking for a more flexible, holistic answer to what we have, right? We will distribute the according membership NFTs. So that's going to be exciting. Because they come obviously with benefits. We also have identified the need for additional ecosystem partners, as mentioned, that's true. And Dani was the one who identified something else, which is called the ALANA Studio. And I still keep this to the last minute. So you better be there when I reveal this. All right. So this brings us to the next section. And yeah, I'm already over time. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. Right, so organizational product development. So this concerns for right now only the explorations that we did for ALANA AI in 2023. We started with the help of Florian Kinn. We started with a kind of like a rudimentary prototype for conversational AI. It gave us a lot of like weird answers, to say the least. So this is when we looked in alternatives. Eventually, as Rohan Mehta, oh no, I misspelled his name. Rohan, I'm sorry. Rohan Mehta started to work on AI agents for something that he's been publishing in a Web3 space and with the Token Engineering Academy together with Angela Crichton-Weiss. So he built a second prototype that we have not really been, reviewing yet. We didn't really have a chance to do that because all of us were very busy. And then Digital Monkey came around the corner and was like, I think I have a clear goal on what ALANA AI is going to look like. So you see, we had all of these ideas from conversational to personal assistant to make her part of the ecosystem, an independent part, not a part where I talk as ALANA, because that used to be a thing in case you guys forgot about that period where I was acting as ALANA, right? So his idea is the following, which kind of, funny enough, it relates with something that Dani keeps mentioning to me, which is a hive mind. The idea is to develop an AI conversational assistant that's trained on ALANA specific information, therefore represents really her, but helps us with day-to-day work in the ALANA project, right? That's kind of the idea. So it's between conversational character and personal assistant AI, right? That's what this is going to be in between. That's at least for now the idea. And so Digital Monkey and we've started to work on a proposal to apply for a grant, because we are aware this cannot be accomplished by two people by themselves, right? And without funding. So we're splitting this essentially off into like a separate product that we are building, but just know we're working on it. Cyberdani has, okay, look, I guess this means looking sharp. Right, so this is the organization of product development. And then let's get into the last section. Last section. Theoretically, we have 15 minutes left, but I guess it has to be a bit more. I will try. Let's see. So, Alana's Boutique. You guys know the t-shirt, right? That was our first release in the Alana Boutique. So the idea was always to have to offer a digital fashion service, to produce our own merchandise, which is this, and support physical designers to enter the digital Web3 space. But as per usual, you explore stuff and then you figure out it's not working, right? And it's also very confusing to people. So what we decided for the upcoming year, and I think with good reason, is Alana Boutique will be only digital merchandise for, with, and around Alana. That's it. That's Alana's Boutique. So that means we will continue our relationship with Boson Protocol, and we will launch new products that, you know, Kirsty and I are already working on. But at the same time, On Click Closet, who is here with us, is working on a digital virtual space for Alana's Boutique, and it's quite exciting, right? I don't want to spoil too much, so I don't think I attached much images for the, no, I didn't attach yet any images for the boutique. I will leave this for a little bit of a later point in time. But the idea is that you can, from within the virtual store, so you can decide, do you want to purchase from within the virtual store, or do you want to purchase from a website, right? Both will be applicable whatsoever. But they serve different kind of customers who feel comfortable with different kinds of tools. So yeah, this is what, you know, this is about. Tanya, On Click Closet, and myself, we've also worked on the overall concept of, we have worked on the concept together for Alana's Boutique, but at the same time, as Alana's Boutique, we supplied services to Alana Magazine when it came to helping to translate some of the garments into AR wearables for the magazine and for the collaboration with 010 app. Kirsty and Heach worked on the first release in collaboration with Boson Protocol, so the OGT. I helped with the renderings. So I think I didn't forget anyone, right? It's very important to me that I don't forget anyone. So this is what I'm wearing right now. Also, before someone might be asking, it's not available anymore. It was a one-time thing, right? Because this is to celebrate the old branding of Alana and essentially start a new chapter. But I promise the new designs are going to be really cool. And also something that I really enjoyed was the fact, that actually so many people took part in the OGT challenge and, you know, created their own style for the OGT. So including our little dog, courtesy of Norbert Onkerbach. Right. So yeah, I already told you what to look forward to, so we can switch over to the next product, Alana Magazine. And before you say it, yes, it is going to be released, okay? It is this time, okay? It is going to be released, and I will do everything possible to release it in January, I promise. Good thing is, we don't do old or, you know, news-related content, right? We do evergreen content in Alana Magazine, meaning publishing this tomorrow or, you know, the week after tomorrow. It doesn't really matter when it comes to the content. So let me just give you a rundown on Alana Magazine in case you haven't heard about it. And I'm Maximilian. So good to have you here. Yeah, so Alana Magazine is a magazine that unites technology, culture, and lifestyle. And because of Maximilian, it's great that she's here now. Because of Maximilian, we defined from a very early point on that we want this to be focused on evergreen content, right? It's not a magazine that we want to rush. It's a magazine we want it to be about quality. And quality meaning not just in the visual area, but also about information, right? We really want to provide you with information that matters to you. So, so many smileys, Maximilian, what the heck? So anyway, Maximilian and I led the vision around the Alana Magazine, right? And we experienced some generous support in the form of rewriting interviews and articles from us to Porcelain. Shelp and Havoji, they provided additional support, and so did Tina and Svetlana until, I want to say, the middle of last year. We held, 3 successful events that I mentioned before, and we produced a trailer together with Q, Quaterus. So check him out here if you want to. Here's all of the contributors' links. And also Nonkelbach has been starting to calculate a business case around the Alana magazine, which is something that we need for every product to happen. So he already knows, he has like a little bit of a list what to do next year. So if you want to, right, this is the cover, this is the trailer if you want to check it out. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter, which you find in Alana's Beacons link attached to all of her profiles, because from there we can inform you when the magazine has finally been launched. Right, brings me to Alana's world, which is probably the most complex one of it all. Crashed the trailer. Awesome, thank you, Maximilian. Evergreen like these trees. Smiling because it's so exciting to be close to the release. Yeah, this is true. I'm also excited about it. Right, so Alana's world is kind of another complexity within the complexity. It's our department that develops games and virtual experiences, or this is what we're trying to focus on. So, it's also the only product that truly focuses on telling Alana's story, because Alana is actually a character. It's not just a symbol for our community, but she's also a character, right? So she has a story. And so Heech and we started developing Alana's archive, which we thought was a very nice idea of a virtual space that brings Alana a little bit closer to everyone, right? To like, what does she like? What is she interested in collecting, right? All of these things. And meanwhile, Zoe, Heech, Paola, and myself, we started to keep on building out the prototype for the game. So here's the thing, we ran into some trouble. Yeah, it's the case with everything that we develop. We always run into trouble, but the good news is trouble makes you learn fast, right? So the trouble was that we realized very fast, very soon, that while developing the prototype, that if we don't really know the story of the game, the story of the character, the story that Alana is going to embark on, right? We don't quite know what this prototype is supposed to be about and where it fits into the game at a later point, because we don't just want to, develop any prototype just so we can show we can develop a prototype for a game. We also want to make it relate to Alana as a character and her story, obviously. So it should be something that can be embedded seamlessly later on in the actual game. So yeah, we needed support. And this is when, I don't know, sometimes it's just the way it is. Shelpen came in, and Shelpen is a creative writer. And we started essentially going into story mode, right? So we switched from developing game assets to essentially storytelling and writing to define the story of the game and, the best course of action that we could possibly take for building out the prototype. So in the last quarter of 2023, we then actually started to build the assets and models for the actual prototype game and refurbish the ones that we already had. So at the same time, and now it's getting very tricky, Angarsa, Digital Monkey, and myself, we formed a separate team about the Galatea trailer. Galatea is supposed to be Alana's companion animal, and that she creates, right? And we started developing this on essentially in parallel to the overall prototype, and then made them seamlessly match and become both part of the game story. And just recently, good news, Jessica James joined us at the ALANA Project. I'm very happy that she decided to join us. And she's going to help us, specifically Angarsa, Digital Monkey, and myself, out with redesigning the new ALANA. So, all of that said, I hope I didn't forget anyone again. If I forgot anyone, please tell me, all right? Please tell me. All right, so for Alana's archive, just, a little bit what I want to show you, right? So this is everything that went into building out the archive, right? So the archive, and I want to say Heech and we really tried our best to kind of capture everything. I'm sure we can keep doing better, but this is kind of how the archive for now looks like. There are a few things that need to be adjusted, but yeah, I think once you watch this, I think you get a fairly good idea on how the archive is going to look like. And it has some interactive elements that you can explore. So think of the archive as a private exhibition / collection of what Alana finds interesting, right? And what Alana needs in her world. So while you experience a little bit about Alana, it's also Alana experiencing humanity from her point of view. And you can be the observer of both. So again, you can, check this out on the board. Then the Arendelle Chateau has been refurbished, all right? I think, so this is the new NFT gallery. It's all much more minimalistic in a way. It used to be much more, how can I say, detailed and decorative, right? But instead it's, it's just a little bit more like not down to earth. It is very elegant, right, in a way, but it's also minimalistic, I think, in a way. So we try to nail it, let's just say. Right, her crystallized star drink and whatnot. This is her living room. You can party with her there. Right? I like the marble. I like the marble in our bathroom. In the rented apartment we have here, we have one bathroom that actually has marble. We were so shocked when we came here. And we were like, oh my God, we have a marble bathroom. That's crazy. So I was like, Alana has marble. Why not? She can have this. Doesn't cost her anything. So this is the new walk-in closet. And we're trying to do this now in parallel, building the game assets and, developing the story. So, we can build in the functionalities level by level, because the chateau is part of the prototype game, meaning you have to go level to level by, obviously solving some puzzles, quizzes, whatever, right? I want to ruin all the surprise. So I'm just walking you through this very quickly. The only level that we haven't really touched yet is the most upper level, which is Alana's chambers. We haven't really touched this one yet, but we will get there. Right, the new Alana. So a small little snippet from Anne Garce's display. So actually, this is the new hairstyle that Alana is going to have, and you can see we're still working on getting it exactly right. But yeah, she's gonna look a little bit different, not too different though. And I guess lastly is the overall Alta Agri platform. So the Alta Agri platform is kind of like the hub of the game, right? It's like its center, it's its core. So from here you can go to through different portals to like all the different areas, which are almost their own little star system. So this, for example, is the archive, right? And then on the other side you have the chateau. And then in the middle, the energy beam goes to, it's really complex. I'm not going to get into this, right? It is quite complex. But yeah, then here's her crystal pot, which is essentially where she has been surviving in for a long time before she finally is being woken up. Again, not trying to spoil too much. This is a biomechanical planet, which you will, this will be the mission of the gamer to revive that planet. So, yeah, not gonna spoil anymore. So you can tell, I think I don't need to tell you specifically, there's a much things to look forward to, which brings me to our last pillar, which is the Alana Studio. So I promised I'm gonna keep this for last. I'm good on my promise. I didn't spoil too much. So Alana Studio is supposed to be a service provider for digital fashion, metaverse building, and a game asset design, right? As well as hosting Alana as a social media influencer. This is something we haven't really been looking at as a possibility. So, all of these 4 things are supposed to make up for the Alana Studio. Right now, Donnie and I, we are very much in a conceptual stage of all of this. So we invite you guys, if you have an interest in this, getting bigger projects that you as an individual designer will never get, getting them together, obviously splitting the revenue, but also building stronger portfolios together. This might be really interesting for you. And I want to invite you guys to join this initiative, right? Just reach out to Dani or myself and just, become part of the conversation, because right now it's a conversation. Right now it's a concept because we need to build out a portfolio for it, for example, all of these things, right? And here is like the former presentation of Alana Boutique, where this was kind of an idea inside. So I attached that as well. And yeah, we are trying to build a viable yet provocative portfolio. So don't be surprised about some of the ideas that we are having. And yeah, which brings me to the very last point is, well, why don't you just join us if you haven't already, right? 2024, I think, will be full of surprises, a lot of bad ones, but let's just do something good together. And if you're interested about Alana and you haven't really been looking into it, then, start with this link, the ALANA Project Beacons link. It's in all of her bios. Go to the Start Here section, do the Web3 Learner Challenge, talk to us on the Discord, reach out. We don't bite. Honestly, most of us are introverts as well. So if you're one, then welcome to the party. I think I'm the only ambivert in this club. So this is why I have to do the webinars and stuff like the yearly recap, right? But yeah, I really want to invite you guys, because I think together we can build something very strong and very long lasting. And yeah, I just promise we are not gonna waste your time, right? And well, you can get out anytime you want. It's not like you have to commit to this in forever. But if you want to join, make sure that you come to some calls, listen in, explore what we're actually building, what we're actually working on, how we work, right? It's also not for everyone. And make sure this is something that you are actually really interested in before joining us. Because if you join and then you pop out after 2 months, it's going to be sad for you, for us, it's going to be sad. So just come in, listen on some cards, let it sink in, and make sure that this is something that can add a benefit to what you're already doing, right? I think this is the best version of joining, to be honest. Right. I don't have anything more to say. I'm also getting a little bit lost in my voice. So Niels Otter says, woo! Thank you. Love these environments and assets. Thank you, don't you? Don't tell. The marble on the floor looks so classy. Yeah, it's still classy. I think so too. So anyway, once the video finishes decrypting, I guess, encrypting, I guess, I will also add this board to the description of the live stream. So if you want to check back for some of the links, right, then you can absolutely do that. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming. I didn't even think we would have so many people today in here, to be honest, because, it's holidays and all, and just wanted to make sure it goes out this year. Yeah, thank you. Any questions before I close this lovely live event and wish you all a happy new year? Just giving it a second, because I know there is always a delay between the chat and the stream. So let's see if anyone feels like asking something. If you don't, right, just reach out. I'm like, what? I'm everywhere on social media, and you for sure can reach me in the Discord, right? So if you have any ideas on how you want to contribute, or even questions and doubts, right, because I understand that this is quite a lot to take in, I'm well aware, then let me know. Okay, you did good. Okay, no, thank you. Okay, and claps from Maximilian. So that means Happy New Year to you all. I'm in agreement with Niels on this one. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.